Alright guys, what's going on? Jinsei and the guy who brings you anime reviews and gameplay walkthroughs. And today I just wanted to do a quick weapon showcase as well as showing off the build that I'm currently working on for Athena. So the weapon, I do plan on doing a showcase for all the legendary weapons that I get, but this is level 30 Athena build that I'm working on. When I get to level 50, when I get to level 50 and I finish it up, then I'm gonna have it to show again. And this is gonna be my first weapon showcase. So when we get to level 50, then I am going to do a showcase for all the weapons, but only when we can get like the maximum from them. But you know, the very first weapon that I'm showing you guys is the 88 Fragmum. And this one is the stiff 88 Fragmum, but I believe that it is going to get different prefixes for whatever you get. The annoying thing about this gun and about all legendaries in this game, in my opinion, is that most of them can only be obtained through the grinder, which is relatively annoying. I don't know if they're going to fix that, but from what I've seen on the wikis and from my personal experience, then almost all legendaries can only be obtained through the grinder, which I know the only recipe right now being 2 legendaries and a purple weapon in order to get another legendary. I don't know if there are any other recipes, but that's the only one that I know of. So showing you guys real quick the build that I'm working on. Then when I was using Athena, then I honestly wasn't really getting anything from it. Like, I tried all the classes by themselves and none of them were really working for me. So this suits my playstyle a lot more, and it's more for people who like to run and do as much damage as possible and then, you know, get out. Like, to just do a quick clean sweep. And that's why I like the Fragmum, because it really helps this class out a lot. So we're mainly going down the Phalanx and the Zyphos 3. Phalanx simply so we can get a few more buffs on the Aspis. So we've got Invictus, where Aspis is going to get more thrown damage. Also increase movement speed just a little bit, because why not, you know? I also made the duration last longer, simply because it's going to help out with Vanguard, where while the Aspis is active, then you get more health regen. Because the thing about Athena is, if she gets surrounded, she gets overwhelmed very easily, I find, because she doesn't have too much health, and she doesn't have very impressive resistance, so always having that little extra bit of health regen is always nice. So going down that tree, then it's just, you know, getting that extra bit of damage with the Aspis as well as get the health regen. But we're also going down a little bit in the Psionic Storm for storm weaving, not really for the elemental effect chance, but more for the fire rate, because as you can see, it's currently level 2, right? So this is normal fire with the Fragmum. Alright, so see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But now, when you activate Storm Weaving, so you swap back, then we get, that's the Skull Smasher, then you get, and that extra bit of fire rate is also going to be very helpful for what you're trying to do, because the main tree that I'm going down is the Zyphos tree. So I do have increased gun damage. I also went for the increased melee damage and the increased health, because you know, this tree is also centered around making people bleed. So increased gun damage, increased health, because I like to rush in there, do my damage, and make sure that everything goes down as quickly as possible. I also have Mercurial, just a little bit. I need to keep boosting it up, because every time you kill an enemy, then you get more movement speed and more gun damage. But I didn't put too many points in there because I was more looking at Omega Senshu, where you deal increased damage to an enemy who has less than 50% health. So you know that it starts building up. And I also have class mods to accompany it, as you can see. I'm using the Wicked Bloodthirstier class mod. See, +3 in Arena skill, +3 in Purpose, and +3 in Omega Senshu. So that gives us just a little bit of a boost. So naturally then we took the Bleed skill as well. More so because the reason why I took the Bleed skill is, like I said, Athena gets overwhelmed very easily, and health regen is always very important. So you get increased health regen for every enemy that bleeds. So one thing that you want to do is, when there are a lot of enemies in front of you, then you want to make sure that you rush in there, melee them, and take them down as fast as possible. So you're going to keep gaining your health, but at the same time then you have to not let them stick around for too long, unless you're using the Aspis, where you're free to run in, get in those melees, and then back up a bit until the Aspis is ready to be thrown. I also invested in Tear, of course, because, like I said, you want to deal as much damage as quickly as possible. Even when the Aspis isn't out, then you don't want to leave the guys alive for long at all. So you just want to get in that damage. So what I usually do is I run it with Aspis. I'm gonna get some bleed on some enemies, and then I'm gonna melee them. Well, that's what I meant when I said bleed. And then I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the crap out of them. I also got Fury of the Arena, where you get increased fire rate when you have a bleeding enemy. Now, because of my playstyle, then I don't have too many enemies bleeding at once, but the main reason why I put a point in it is because I get +3 from the class mod. And then just for that little bit of damage, then you got red on you, so they explode. So really quick now, then I'm gonna run in, and just so you guys can see exactly how the build works, then we're gonna head in and we're going to deal with these guys. Another thing that I like to do sometimes is just getting a few shots to like get everyone's attention so they all come in, and the Skull Smasher is like really good for that as well. So you can see these guys coming now, so right off the bat then I'll pull out the Aspis, getting those butt slams. You don't want to be facing the back too much, you know? So you want to get in that damage, get that guy. Always keep moving with that this class as well, guys. Like, Athena is not supposed to be staying still for very long at all. So for this area then I like to, you know, get to my little choke point. Pull out Aspis again, of course. Getting those few shots. So you can see, like, with the increased gun damage, then as well as the health regen. Let me just stay back a bit. Let my shield come back some. Keep absorbing that damage. And now when I go down, then it can be alright, because there's the raider back there who needs to hurry up and get over here. Boom. Just like that. The bleed's always going to make sure that you have someone ready with like relatively low health, just in case you ever go down. So melee. So while the Aspis is out, then you don't want to let too many guys get behind you, so you want to head in there, back up a bit, throw a grenade just for good measure, and get to cover real quick, because these guys still don't like to play around. So whenever your Aspis is ready, then you want to be sure to pull it out. And you see that guy over there died from bleed, so that means there's only one person left in this area. This guy right over here. So get that Singularity Slam. Get that melee as well. Oh boy. And the explosion got me, so that's not good at all. That's not good at all. But how I'm using this class is, as you see, like, pull out Aspis as quickly as you can, run over.
Move out and try not to die again, maggot. These things are expensive.
Yeah, pull out Aspis, get that bleed damage, head on over, Just block as much as you can, getting that damage, get out. But you never want to be surrounded by a lot of people. She's not bulky enough to take too much damage at once. So you can see just these two guys over there. There are going to be a lot more coming out. So just a quick shot to pull them all out. Here they come. So now that you know where everyone is, then get in that melee. You always want to make sure that you know where everyone is as well, so that's why I was moving around, not shooting too much. I'm also going, this is also the grenades that I'm using. Then, hold on. If I remember correctly, then I should still have out a legendary grenade, but I can't remember at the moment. So it's just this one scab here. You don't have to worry too much about him since there's just one of them. Get that beat on this guy. Oh boy. Okay, Aspis missed right there. So Aspis is down now, so you do want to worry with this guy a little bit. Get back. Get some bleed. Get some health regen from him. Always keep moving, guys, alright? There's a Moonstruck coming. Where'd he go? Alright. Get that bleed on him. Depending on what sort of enemies you're fighting as well, then sometimes you can ignore them. Not ignore them, but focus on the bigger guys first. If you're fighting like a boss or something, then you always want to keep up that damage. So you want to melee the smaller guys as much as possible. Keep that gun damage up, keep that health regen up, and then you can focus on the boss. Alright, there we go. And I'm pretty sure that there's one more group of scavs over here, so we're gonna deal with these guys. Melee him for that bleed. Another thing about New Game Plus, this is true Vault Hunter mode right now, guys. So the problem with these guys sometimes is how they are resistant to a lot of stuff, their shields. Alright, I'm surrounded right now. Keep an eye on your minimap to make sure that you know where all the enemies are. Get out that grenade. Get in that melee. Back up a bit. Alright, so see now, even though I'm down, then I don't really have to worry because I've got a scab that has bleed on him. The explosive damage from the 88 is also going to help me out a lot. And so now I'm kind of free to go to town on these guys. See? You still don't want to go down too much because of that counter though. You gotta keep that in mind. And then this one last guy. Boom. Alright guys, so this is currently the class that I'm working on with Athena right now. In terms of part 3 for our group playthrough, then it's just a matter of our schedules. Then we're having a bit of problem because we decided to bring along Arnell and he's got some stuff going on right now. So it's going to be a 3-person playthrough instead of just me and Philip. So there's going to be a bit more commentary and whatnot as well. So we're just going to head on back to the main area. And like I said before, when I get to level 50, then I'm going to be showing off all the weapon showcases. But this is just a little update as to the build that I have going on right now. And now that we're back over here, then like I said, just for a quick show off again, then you've got the health regen from the Aspis as well as the added damage. So every time you guys have the Aspis out, then you know you're going to be getting back a decent amount of health, and you know that when you throw it, then you're going to be able to take down at least one person, two if the explosive damage gets through gun kata, so that you can get off that extra gun damage, increased melee. You deal more damage to enemies at half health, as well as more damage for each enemy that's bleeding. The singularity to bring them closer, so that when you melee them, then so that you don't have to get as close to melee them, but rather they get closer. And everything else is just built around damage. So this class is more for the people who just want to like get in there and do a lot of damage, and at the same time then it also has health regen to make sure that, because Athena isn't the squishiest person, and that's why I like the 88 Fragmum, because it also has that explosive damage, so you're always hitting something, and if they're in a group then that's even better. So that's my Athena build right now, guys. When I get to level 50, then I'm going to finish polishing it, and then I'm going to show it off again. I completely forgot to, because it's a weapon showcase, my first one, then I wasn't doing the storm weaving at all, but that's also very helpful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you all try out this class if you think that it's this class build, if you think that it's interesting to you guys, and I want to thank you all for watching. So part 3 is going to hopefully be out later this week, as well as a couple of other parts. We're going to try focusing on the stories before we focus on side missions, and we're also going to have a few Easter eggs to show off for you guys. So I want to thank you all for watching, and I'm going to see you all later. Peace.